On so another month and time another gaming vlog. While I try to work out how I'm gonna be approaching the bigger video on Inside Out 2 that I've had cooking for a bit. But for now, I'm gonna be talking about what I'm playing, what I'm anticipating playing, and also some gaming news I've been meaning to address for a while. Some of it is fairly recent. Others broke a bit ago, earlier in the year here, but given what day I'm recording and uploading this, it's gonna be now or never, so let's begin. First off, let's go over something I've been meaning to for a while before new stuff kept happening. That's Atari has acquired the Intellivision brand as per their Newswire press release, and I will briefly go over that. That's right now. Atari, one of the world's most iconic consumer brands and interactive entertainment producers, announced that it has purchased the Intellivision brand and certain games from Intellivision Entertainment LLC. Atari will seek to expand the digital and physical distribution of legacy Intellivision games, potentially create new games, and explore brand and licensing opportunities as part of a long-term plan to create value from Intellivision properties. Uniting Atari and Intellivision after 45 years and the longest-running console war in history, he said Mike Mika, studio head at Digital Eclipse, Atari owned game studio, something I have a lot of respect for, and he is indeed right. Long before Nintendo and Sega were each other's throats, Atari and Intellivision fired the first salvos of proverbial console wars, only stands to reason that at just over 4 decades later, they'd be joining an armistice and going to console diplomacy as it often does. Even as someone who doesn't put Intellivision on the same pedestal they do like Atari, Nintendo, or Sega, I am curious to see what kind of fruit this partnership bears. As other console projects they've been working on, allegedly, was supposed to be out this time 4 years ago before everything and then some happened. Well, I will just deal with that as it comes. I mean, I do not know whether or not the project will burn out or fade away, much like the next topic that's really been making the rounds. In regards to the studios at Ubisoft, I mean, I don't know about Tencent specifically, but tensions are continuing to boil, which could lead to one of two or both of potential outcomes where the company is sold off and taken over by another other one, or the Yomura brothers, who have been in charge of the company for its entirety since they officially started focusing on software long I've been alive. I will be forced out of position. I mean, I'm not gonna give too much to the how it's been going down among players. However, it is clear that the activist investors who, my understanding, control 10% of the company's shares, which are actually dropping to less than what I took to have lunch earlier today, are staggering. And I don't think anyone's really making the argument as a former monetization director is claiming. Yes, they had one of those. The whole law there, more divisive practices, that was him. Him. If I may be characteristically honest, I'm not sure how I would feel if someone else took them over, whether it's Tencent or someone else. I'm just saying that based on all the other acquisitions there have been in this decade thus far, with the biggest one being Microsoft off gaining control of Activision Blizzard, it would not surprise me. And as someone who has always approached the situation with a whole kit that heats coming mindset between decline quality of their work and how horrible they've been treating their employees, all I will simply say is that the bird is coming home to roost, as one might say. Hey, and I think I'll definitely want to pick things back up before I get too heavy. Anyway, hey, the Splatoween Festival is back in Splatoon 3, for those who missed it the first time around. and more so, it brings back cosmetics that people have been anticipating, including my personal favorite, the Jason S. Kalki mask. So I was hoping for, even though like the major updates have definitely gone out with a bang with the Grand Festival, smaller updates like this that have encores of previous Splatfests, and also oh the the cosmetics and maybe other stuff like weapons again around for the first time have been worked into the game, since a lot of it built on what the second game did and presumably what the next game will be on the upcoming next console, not counting this Alarmo toy that they've just stealth announced. I definitely can see more gear coming soon. And with that, I'll use that as a springboard to transition what I've been playing, starting with the Switch. Echoes of Wisdom, I managed to log at least 50 hours into it. I'm enjoying it immensely. I'm on the last dungeon before the final boss, and before I do that, I have to get the favor from Nehru, and beat the boss in the Lonario Caverns, who is giving me quite the pain in the neck, especially with its later forms. Timing is definitely the key for your echoes, and one piece of advice I'll give to people, whether a player or a reviewer: if you approach this game with a combat first mentality, you will die a lot. I mean, this is definitely one of the many types of rewards outside the box thinking, and also built upon ideas established from last year's best-selling, highly acclaimed Tears of the Kingdom, all the way back to the earlier games in the 8-bit and 16-bit entries in the franchise, and not counting spin-offs or the odious CDI titles. Well, it is definitely a worthy one. I definitely can say that the franchise can support small-scale titles like this, as well as bigger ones like Breath of the Wild, so let's keep it going. I am looking forward to playing the next F-Zero games coming Game Boy Advance Online. I've been meaning to for a while, which also includes the previously Japan-only F-Zero Climax. Man, even though that game only sold 5,000 copies, because its original Japanese release, I think putting it on GBA Online could give a much wider audience, especially a legit one, for those who... So that way I'll have to avoid saying that despite all these takedowns, that I know a guy. And with that in mind, I'm also working pretty hard to beat Sonic Generation again before Sonic Cross Generation comes out. Looking forward to playing that, which will make a nice transition to what I'm playing on the PlayStation front. I will start with looking forward to playing first. This switches up a bit. Even though I don't have a date for it yet, like some of the other stuff that's coming extra on premium this month, I am going to be enjoying playing Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, especially in the case of like the remastered ones of us two Soul Reader games as well. I mean, it's been way too long since I got to get reacquainted with Kain and Raziel, and also playing more spooky titles as well, where the Resident Evil games being in rotation quite a bit, both in the original and remake forms. I've also seen a few of those I might be trying, like Dead Island 2 is coming to who extra as well. I mean, I don't know what I find more surprising, the fact that the game finally came out after all this time, or the fact that game was well received. Same with how The Silent Hill 2 remake has been been positive received and is also selling decently. The Until Dawn remake, not so much. So looking forward to Marvel vs. Capcom collection, and since I finally placed a pre-order for that, physically, I know it's been on digital for a while, and people have been getting destroyed online by people from Planes in the 2000s in MVC2 alone. However, I definitely am also into it because I'll have something I can physically touch, hold on that proxy, feel on my end, and as well as like a bonus comic book that comes inside. Much like how my physical day one copy of Sonic Shattered Regions will include the Doctor's Journal as well. As for Dino Crisis, I go either way. I've never really been as into the franchise as others. And it's not just the third one. You would think that I would be all over like say RE with dinosaurs, but yet I just have never vibed with it. I guess I've been more of a Turok guy. It's not that I found the concept too silly. As someone who just admitted to really being into Turok, maybe I just didn't find silly enough. If that makes sense to you all. Hmm. And before I sign off and get cleaned up for like a journey into the unknown this weekend, sort of like a little illusion of what I'm working on next, I just like to point this out. Out, man. Out, man. Apparently, he before a Space Jam Legacy. So yes, Matthew, there are people like me who do still remember it and remember just how dank it is. There were going to be sequences that would have poked fun at both Pokemon and Akira of all ones. So just the idea of seeing Bugs Bunny and LeBron James in dressed like trainers or trying to cross bikes with a Capsules gang is just crazy. He just, again, this implies that everything they've distributed at some point in life is in their vault. And just, even just seeing like the stills and the sequences are just wild. I just kind of love things like that. I mean, and anyway, that'll be all for now. I'll see you all again soon, so beware the beast. Yeah.